Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here. And today I have a match for you guys of myself in the Tier 10 Premium or Reward Ship, depending on who you ask. Um, American Battleship, Ohio. And yes, I know it's a reward ship, but I mean, it's the same thing as a premium ship. It's just a fancy way of saying you paid some type of resource for it rather than money. So, the Ohio, I am here in it. And if you're wondering about my build, it's a full secondary build. I have my Massachusetts captain in her, and all the modules except for the no, even the no. The last one I have the main battery mod 2 or main armaments mod 2. No, aiming systems mod 2. It's that special module that only American battleships can equip. Everything else is a full secondary build. Because why not when you're in an Ohio, which is a roided up. Well, I guess this is technically a roided up Montana. I was going to say it's a roided up Georgia, but it really is just a Montana with 8 457mm guns instead of 12 406mm guns. That does seem to be Wargaming's new kind of scheme going on now. Instead of designing new premium ships, they're just giving us ships that are literally the same ship but with bigger guns. However, there are less of them on the ship. So yeah, see Yashima, Cheshire, and Ohio and Georgia. Pretty much the tech line variant, just with the bigger guns and less of them. So yeah. So anyway, I'm here approaching the sea cap because sea cap is where most of the fun normally takes place on this map. And I take an opening shot at a Henry, and unfortunately I missed the Henry. However, fortunately, either through the daring spotting or just because they wanted to shoot at me, the enemy ships start to open up and all become spotted. As you can tell, there's quite a number of them coming this way, including some community favorites, the Kremlin, the Thunderer, and the Smolensk. And there is a he's not detected yet, but there's another little guy running around over here. So there's another Henry, 2 Henrys, and I'm trying to decide which one to shoot at. That was bow in. This guy's opening up, and there you go. Now, the Ohio has some special things about it besides just having 457mm guns, and boop, there we go. Double Citadel on the Henry for 31,000 damage. The Ohio also has an extremely fast cooldown time on her heal and her damage con. Since she is supposed to be the more brawly battleship, the devs gave her that to kind of compensate for her rather not fantastic armor for brawling. And look, this Henry just gets behind this mountain. I get the terrain indicator, and whoop, those shells hit the island, but these shells didn't hit his Citadel again. And there is first blood and devastating strike. I have a feeling that Henry had just enough health left for me to get a dev strike. I believe a dev, it's like, what, 50% or more of the ship's health in one salvo. But anyway, yes, the Ohio, as you can see, I'm already on cooldown number 4. No long wait time. And it's a very nice heal, too. And it's, ooh, hi, Shimakaze from 7 kilometers away, who I've selected for death via my secondaries. Get a couple of overpins on him. My secondaries get a couple of hits on him before he goes dark. So now I realize I'm still detected, and oh boy, there is a destroyer there. If you wonder what's going on, my mouse, I got a new mouse, and it's a lot nicer mouse than my previous mouse, but it's so sensitive, it's picking up the bumps in my table and getting stuck on them with the laser. So, yeah, I'm fighting this battle too. I changed where it's at where it's sitting out of my desk, and that seemed to help. So those torpedoes are from, oh, hi, Clubbear. Hi, how you doing? And since it's the Kabler, you know, he has more torpedoes. And oh, he caught me in the turn. But I did take out his engine, and my secondaries are on him. And I take 1, 2, 3 torpedoes. Ooh, that hurt a lot. And I'm in front of a Thunderer. Ooh, that could have been so much worse. I'm not sure if the Thunderer wasn't aiming right, or if I was angled just enough for his shells to bounce. Fortunately, I get this island between me and the Zhao and the Kleber and the Kremlin and the Thunder, and ooh, that's a broadside Kremlin. If I could just get away from this island, Shimakaze again. But, and again fighting my mouse. But the Kleber pops up, so I reassign my secondaries back to the Kleber. I'm trying to bring my guns on him, but then I changed my mind because he's probably going to go undetected here in a second anyway. And there's broadside ships on the other side of this island, like this Henry. Here, have some AP. I get a couple more hits on the Kleber and start another fire. And, ooh, get another Citadel on the Henrys for my 4th Citadel of the game. And the bad thing now is there's a lot of ships over there, which whom I have ticked off, and I'm still detected because of the Kleber. And ooh, that Henry's so low. Fortunately for me, the Henry hit that island and is trying to back up and run. He's popped his hill though, and those are some very nice shots. And not another Citadel, but 6,000 damage from one hit. So as I'm trying to run away and get away from being spotted, the Henry's retaliating, but unfortunately he had AP, well, unfortunately for him, fortunately for me, he had AP loaded, and the Yami takes him out before my shells can get there. And hello, Kremlin at 13,000 health. And no, gave him too much of a lead. So obviously the Kremlin is the ship to take out, since it's, well, the Kremlin, and you want that thing to be dead. So I'm thinking, okay, can finish off the Kremlin here, but that Thunderer is looking mighty appetizing. Ooh, lock onto him, give him a bit of a lead, give him the full broadside. My secondary is still firing at Kleber from 11 kilometers away. And oh, some lovely dispersion, and ooh, 2 Citadels for 38,000 damage. And if I didn't give him as much lead as I did, I probably would have gotten another death strike there. So I'm trying to decide what to do here, because I can still get a full broadside out on the Thunderer again, and my secondaries are tearing into the Kleber. So I was trying to say broadside so my secondaries can hit the Kleber as much as possible, because again, it's the Kleber, you want to get it down as fast as possible. And ooh, a no damage pin there. That was sad. But I'm also broadside to a Zhao and a Montana. But the Montana's way in the back. That's not how you want to play Montana right there. Montana is a mid to close range ship. From that distance, the velocity of Montana's guns and just the general performance of her shells, you're not going to be able to hit anything, for one, because the shells are so slow, and two, you're not going to be really doing that much damage. As you can see, he kind of nicked me there. So, I think he's firing at me again, so I have time to shift my rudder around and begin to turn in the other direction before his shells even get here, and plus he way overshot me anyway. So Thunderer starts another fire on me. I pop my damage cone to put it out. Thunderer is scraping his hull against the island as hard as he can right now. And I'm hoping that he'll nick it again against that little outcropping right there, so I give him another blast, but unfortunately he went undetected and my guns were not locked on him. So we'd still do get one pin for about 3,500 damage, but that's it. So situation so far, we haven't really killed that many ships, and they've only killed one of ours, and we've gotten the caps, and for some reason their team is being very, very passive. Who would have known a tier 10 game where the one team is really passive? They just managed to sink a second ship on our team. Their Zhao managed to take out our Daring. And Thunderer is at 500 health right now, being harassed by the Smolensk. And Montana's still just sitting out there. And the thing is, they still have most of their destroyers up, and well, we do too. They just don't want to go on the cap. Which is understandable, because at sea you have the Smolensk just chilling there, waiting for the destroyer to be spotted. But the enemy team has the ship advantage at sea currently. I'm at half health. They have a Kremlin and a Montana and a Thunderer, but they're all being extremely passive. The Thunderer I can understand because he's almost dead. But you got a full off Montana and a Kremlin who, if he would bow in, could tank for days still. But he's still just showing his broadside to most of my team. So we're going back to sea now to see if we can do something before this match ends. The Shimakaze has just wandered back into my secondary range and the secondary range of the Kurfürst as well. Their Yami has now sunk our Yoshino. I guess they finally got the memo that they need to sink ships in order to win. Grozovoy gunned down the Kleber, but Kleber just torpedoed the Grozovoy, so that's a trade there. Zhao is running for his life as he is trying to get away from the team at sea. And oh look, there is the Shimakaze spotted by the radar that was just popping. It's a couple good hits on the Zao. Secondary are going on the Shimakaze. And there goes the Zao. And there's the game. So, intriguing match. Not a match where one side absolutely just slaughters the other side as far as ship kills go. I mean, we were pretty close there at the end. 4 ships down to, was it 6 ships down on the enemy team, so we weren't terribly far apart. So what happened there really was the enemy team really just refused to cap, and they weren't playing the objective, and you had a couple of ships that were just hanging out in the back for no real reason. Like that Thunderer, you're not going to understand why he ran away. Obviously, he was at like 500 health. But, you know, you have a Montana sitting in the back, a Kremlin sitting in the back, which, granted, to that Kremlin's credit, he did push up, but then he just fell back and never pushed up again. A weird game, but not too uncommon nowadays. But it wasn't a steamroll match in the normal sense where one side just walks all over the other side. It was really just because the enemy team just wouldn't cap. If they had grabbed a couple of caps or maybe committed, the match would have gone on for much longer. Rather than ending, I think we ended before we, like right after we crossed the 10-minute mark. Yeah, it was like 9 minutes and 52 seconds in. Which, I mean, it's not a terribly short game, but not a terribly long game either. So, just another kind of stereotypical tier 10 match nowadays, but with a pretty interesting ride throughout, rather than being a very long and drawn-out match. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. We are on our way to 10,000 subscribers, and we are just under 1,600 away from that goal. Can't thank you guys enough for that. Hope you guys are having a great Thursday. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.